What it do, baby? It's your boy Tyrik Wynn. Y'all are tuning in to another episode of NJP, Navigating Journalism Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below and share the episode with your fellow journos. We got an amazing guest in the building today. We got the Ashley Jones, who is a producer at KOTV in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, of course. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I love Atlanta, being in the city, visiting. I'm here for a wedding, so it's just good vibes all around.
That's what's up. Yeah, we always try to get all the out-of-towners as journalists and when they visiting, so we appreciate you coming on in. So tell us about the producer life. What's that like? I think you're the first producer we have on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
So behind the scenes, it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot of pressure, but not as much as being in front of the scenes and being like on camera, but there's a lot more pressure to make the people on camera look amazing, make the entire show look amazing. And even though it's a lot of leadership within that role, I feel that working with a team is what makes the role work best. So basically what my day-to-day looks like is I'll go in and stack a show. So I'll pick stories from the news that just look great and or that are new now and next. So they're happening, that just happened, breaking news, crime goes first, and then happy stuff at the bottom. And then I'll write the show, so I'll write the script. And being a CBS affiliate, we can grab stuff from CBS. And that's where we get a lot of our stuff from. So I'll help use their stuff to write my script. And then after that, we print out the show and run it from the control booth. And that's a lot of telling reporters when they go on and timing the show.
Oh, I like that. It's a lot of moving parts in producing. Like,
Yes.
it seems a little stressful to me. Because I feel like when you producing like in TV, everything gotta be timely, like right down to the last millisecond. Like it is crucial. How do you manage that time?
So pad time is our best friend, and learning your anchor is a really critical part of the job. So my anchor, she reads a little bit, like she'll understand the story as she's reading it, and she takes her time. So the audience can actually hear what she's saying. And so I actually she'll say she reads slow, but I actually love her reading style. But we just got to plan for it. So you add the first block, which will be like the first 3 minutes of the show. You have like a minute of pad time. And so that'll be, it's more like the first 6 or 7 minutes, but you have a minute of pad time. And so also killing stories. That's how you stay on time. If the show goes too heavy or if the show is too light, you keep a lot of stories. I've once had to write a story like while the show was going on. Oh, dang. It's just so we could fill that time. And but pad time's my best friend.
Okay. So so you saying knowing your anchor, right? Okay, so let's say how do you know your anchor when it's, let's say it's their first day on the job and it's their first day on the anchor desk? Like, what are you doing? Because you don't really, do you know their reading style and their speed and stuff on that first show?
So as a producer, I've only been a producer for about like a year now. My background was a lot in print. So when I first got on the job, I didn't know how anyone read. And I was like, so asking people, how do I time this and how do I time that? And so they'll say slow, medium, or fast. So if they read fast, you're doing like 30, like per story, it's like 0 to 2 seconds of pad time. And then if they read medium, you give them about like anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds of pad time. That's more like long. I mean, slow. But if they read medium, then it's more like 3 to 5 seconds of pad time. Gotcha. So it's really mathematical the way I think about it sometimes. But what also helps is that on the weekends, I am the senior producer. So I'll have an associate producer that helps me. And I give a lot of the timing of the show. Like on the Saturday, we'll have a 2-hour show. And we'll have to time the show to know how much pad time we have for the entire show to see if it's comfortable. So for like a 30-minute show, will want about anywhere from 2 minutes and 30 seconds to no more than 3 minutes of pad time. And I'll ask them to time the show, because going through each individual block and just doing the adding up time, it's just, I'm a writer. I'm not too big on the math side, like, but it works out.
I feel that. Speaking of writing, I like that. I like that dress. That's
Oh,
a nice,
this
like, journalist. Yeah.
Thank you. I also have like a newsprint. I feel like longer dress. I think
Okay.
I wore it at nationals.
Yeah.
NABJ nationals.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay. So you were so why did you switch from writing to TV?
I switched because of layoffs. So I worked at
Layoffs are serious. now.
Yes,
Like,
yes. I worked at, and the print industry is, I wouldn't say struggling, but at least getting to that point. Because where I worked, it was the Tulsa World newspaper, and they're still a thriving newspaper. They're great in terms of ratings and popularity-wise. I love them. I read them every week, and I just know that I wasn't the only one to be let go. That's how it is with layoffs, and there were some pretty prestigious people, award-winning journalists, that got laid off. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, do I want to experience this again with another, say it's an even more prestigious paper, but it's just funding. Like, I'm working my way up the totem pole, and if I get knocked down, it's going to be a little bit harder to go up. So I wanted to go with something that was more secure, at least while I'm building a career. Because once you have the experience, I feel like if you get laid off, it won't be as hard to find another place that will accept you and your experience. But whenever you're just starting out, layoffs don't look too bad, but you're gonna have to build up those years, and you don't really want something to like set you off course when you're just starting the course, you know? So I, at least for these next 5 years, and pretty much for the rest of my life, I think I'm gonna stick with TV, just because of that. But I'm also freelancing with print.
Okay, cool.
So I work, I'm completely forgetting. I work with the Black Wall Street Times as a freelancer. And they print a paper about, I think it's either quarterly or biannually. And so I work with them, and they're amazing. I love the CEO and founder, Nehemiah Frank. He's a genius. And I just like their mission and what they do for the community and the nation, because they do nationwide reporting. So, yes, I just, even though I love print, it's what I started doing journalism-wise. Like, career-wise, major-wise, like, I was studying journalism, and I knew it's what I wanted to do since 8th grade.
Yeah. Wow, I like that. That's like that's a nice little transition and stuff, because I know we are seeing right now in our industry there are a lot of layoffs going on right now. It is serious business, you know. These are big time companies that's doing these layoffs. Like, this is crazy. Have you ever thought about like a backup plan? Like, if you were to get laid off, because sometimes I'd be thinking, I'm like, if this was like if this is going, because it seemed like it's a steady trend of layoffs and stuff, and I'd be like, okay, what's gonna be my backup plan? You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of want to have one in place. Do you have a backup plan?
I do. It's my plan B is to go to law school and be a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like there's a time limit with that, because law school takes time. So
And money.
And money. And if you get laid off, it's like, well, yeah. So, but the plan B is to be a lawyer, and plan C is to be a entrepreneur. So, like,
I like that.
own a business.
Yeah.
And
Which you don't have to go to school for. So
right.
You save some money.
Right. And my dad, he owns. He used to be an owner of. So back in Oklahoma, a medical dispensary.
Yeah.
So he has experience in that field. And I just want him to teach me how to start a business, you know?
Yeah.
Regardless of what it's selling. And then plan C is, what was Plan C? I think it was, man, I just forgot. But it was something with, oh, my dad also has experience renting properties. So I would probably
Real
try,
estate
yeah,
is- yeah.
real estate. So those are my down the line plans. And then it just gets more depressing from there. Like,
Not depressing.
yeah, McDonald's is probably like plan F.
McDonald's. McDonald's should not be in the cards.
Well, you know, anything to just survive.
Make a McDonald's owner now. Now, that's
Yes, I
different.
could definitely
Yeah,
own
yeah.
a franchise, McDonald's franchise. That'd be great.
Yeah, see, you know, you got to get them wheels turning. 'Cause
Nothing
working
against-
at McDonald's.
Nothing
I don't know,
against
bro.
people who works at McDonald's. My
Yeah.
mom used to work at McDonald's, but she burnt her finger, and she said she'd never work in fast food again.
Oh, dang.
And I was like, maybe I shouldn't, just because learn from my mom's mistakes.
Yeah, wow. I remember working at fast food. Fast food was great. Did you ever work in fast food?
I've
Like,
never
ever?
worked in. My first job was I was a lawyer. I was a lifeguard for
Okay.
a gym, Lifetime Fitness, for ever since I was 16 to 18.
Did you have to rescue anybody?
It was like a fake rescue. Like, she faked it. She was like fake drowning to get her parents' attention, and my phone was in my fanny pack. So it made me
Yeah.
so mad when I jumped in the water and she stood up, and I was like, okay, I can't save you if you just.
Oh yeah, that would. Yeah, that's
So she was like 3.
just trying to get her parents' attention. Got
Yeah.
you. Okay. So back to journalism. So why not? Okay, so you're a producer, right? I know there are a lot of times in this industry when it comes to producing an anchor and being on TV and stuff. Sometimes there has been a negative kind of twist within that. And so what I mean is sometimes there will be people who want jobs in the industry, and these news directors, will take a person, they'll take a person that wants to be on TV, and they'll say, well, why don't you start producing first, and we'll just see kind of where it goes from there. Or why don't you just be a producer? Like, you seem more of a producer than an anchor and stuff. And a lot of us that are in TV kind of take that as a negative type of thing, right? So what's your opinion about that?
Well, like, at my station, I haven't seen that happen, but at other places, I've heard of that happening. So, like, my thing is, jokingly, it's like, do they not think you're cute enough for TV or something? Or do they not trust your on-camera skills? Like, are you low-key, like, nervous in front of the camera and they're afraid to tell you? Or is it a them thing, like, they already have too much talent, is what they call on-camera people, talent. Like, they have too much talent in front of the camera, so it's like you have to start somewhere small. Like, I feel like it's gotta be dependent on the person, because I've heard that happening, and it's just like the person doesn't have a newsy voice or something like that. And so I understand why they tried to make them shadow from a producer position. Now it's like producing, it's not an easy job, but it's, once you learn it and get it down packed, it comes pretty easily, like day to day.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's a good start. Out of everywhere to be in the newsroom, an AP is the best place to just start, an associate producer. Like, you're asked to do small tasks within the big task of producing, and then you also get to observe and things like that from behind the scenes. And
Yeah.
so it's like, yes, it kind of puts a negative connotation on, like, being, I guess, a producer, because it's like, oh, but I want to do this, and this is better, but it's not necessarily better. It's just from a different point of view,
Yeah.
so you can learn how to do something else differently. Because once you're on camera, like, thousands of people are seeing you, so it's like, we got to get you on camera ready, And you already know, there's so many things. Like, you're on camera ready. Like,
I appreciate it.
you got the looks, the voice, you got the experience. So you understand how hard it is to actually take on that role. So,
it ain't easy.
Yeah.
It's
a POV kind of thing. They want you to stand back and look at it from a new perspective.
Yeah, no, it's good that you mentioned that, because it is, everybody thinks that we just literally just get in front of the camera and just look good and talk. It's a lot more than that. Sometimes,
it is.
Sometimes even though you're on TV, sometimes you do have to write some stuff. Like any journalism job, you have to write something. Like, whether that be scripts, write up, something for a package, like whatever. And so there is a lot of writing that goes into it. And then I know that, and this is, I don't know how this is possible. I've never seen it done, but I've heard of people doing it. Like, I have a friend, he has a lifestyle show up in Fort Wayne, right? And he said that he hosts and produces his own show. How do you do both? That's like, how are you supposed to be doing both?
I just imagine him in front of the camera and then behind the scenes, and then, okay, wait, let me check that out. No, but like, I guess you set it up before. I don't know. That is pretty difficult.
Yeah, because I'm like, I be hearing people, oh yeah, I anchor and produce the show, or I'm on host and produce the show.
I mean, I guess it's definitely possible. It might be easier if you had a producer, but you got to do what you got to do to make the show go on. And if you're the one man show, then you can make it happen. But like, you remember? I think you were there at Nate Burleson. I hate that
Nate
I'm saying.
Burleson.
Burleson, okay.
CBS Sports.
Yes, and he had a Q&A at Nationals, and he was talking about, but it was so I was in the CNN producer workshop, and he said this part.
I missed that workshop. Yo, I heard that workshop was good.
It was the best workshop I've ever been to.
I ain't missing it this year, though. Sign
up, because
I'm going to do it. As soon as they come out with it, I can't miss it.
I'm gonna wait another 4 years until I'm doing a transition, trying to come to Atlanta, because they have a portion at the end of the workshop where you talk to people that work there, and those people are ready to hire. So it's like, I want to be in a position to be ready to be hired. So I'm gonna come back when I can actually talk to them about being hired. So, but he chatted with us, and he told us about how he basically, I think he said this in his workshop. I forgot who said it, but they were talking about how they get up, their schedule, they get up early, they 5, 6 a.m., they're reading the news, they're doing this, they're doing that, and it's but they're also on camera, so it's they're writing, we already said it, but they're writing their own stuff, and then having to memorize and rewrite, and it's just so much work.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole lot of work that goes into it. And we talked about the convention, right? How do you go about doing the convention? Because every year when I get ready to go to the convention, I always come up with a game plan, right? I know this year my game plan is because I already have a position, being an anchor at iHeart and stuff. This year my goal is I want to network with these national networks like CNN, MSNBC, so I can get a commentator role. Because I want to come on camera at some point. It's if they talking about, an election that's happening here in Georgia, I want to be able to come on camera and talk about it. So that's my goal this year. That and just regular networking, period. Yes,
I think my goal is definitely regular networking, but also I want to learn more from producer-centered workshops and things like that about how to be, and I want to go to, they have anchor ones where there was a workshop they had where it was a producer workshop, but it was how to be better for your anchor and your reporters and just how to support the team. And so, do you watch Abbott Elementary?
I've seen it, yeah. I love Abbott.
There's an episode, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but someone said, it was corny in the context that they said it, but what they said was real, and it was being a leader is asking yourself, would I follow me. And
Yeah.
it was like when they said it, it was like you were laughing because of the context.
Yeah.
But it was deep.
That's real stuff.
It made me think. Like
when I follow myself.
right.
Like,
So my goal, my game plan going into NABJ is to learn how to be a better leader and learn how to want to follow myself, because sometimes I don't. Like I'd be like, is she confident enough for me to follow her? Is she too standoffish? Is like I'm not as demanding as probably I could be.
really? Because I know producers are kind of demanding.
Yeah.
That's why I'd be like,
My thing is, I'll say, if you could you please, or when you get the chance, please.
So you just say it nicely.
Only if you, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But then there's times where we'll all be joking around, and then so my director, he has to code the show.
Yeah.
And we'll be in the control booth, and we have to run through the show before it goes on. And so we'll be chatting, and he'll just be telling me story after story, turning his back from the computer. And I just want to say, like, can we please run through the show? Or can we, like, but I'm too scared. So that's what I mean when I say standoffish. Like, I'm too scared to, like, ask someone to do something that they're supposed to do just because, like, I want to create a leisure and, like, kind of just laid back environment. But I think finding a balance is part of what I want to do. And I think NABJ has a lot of good mentors that can help me find that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you shared that. I think that that is something. I'm glad that's something that you can definitely work on and stuff. And I think I've never been in that type of situation, but I can say that at least just from thinking, I can say, of course, there's a time for regular stuff, and then there's a time for business. And if we got to let's face it, we got to get work done. And so everybody needs to be serious about this work that we got to get done.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can be nice, but, like, sometimes you got to be stern, be like, look. So, but of course, always want to be polite, which is good because you're always polite. Because I can tell you, I've worked with some people that weren't polite, and sometimes they be yelling at you if you don't do what you're supposed to do, especially when you get on TV. If you're on TV, yes, you get yelled at too. Yes, you do. It may be the producer that be doing the yelling though, but
there was this one producer. I won't say their name, obviously, but my director told me they would behind the scenes in the control booth, the anchor would have this talker moment. Yeah. They'd be talking, and the producer would just be like, stick to the script, and, like, slam their fist on the table, and then they'll get in they'll latch down and get in the anchor's ear and be like, okay, we have 30 seconds of pad time left. And, like, be super sweet on the. And so it's just like, I feel those moments, but I would never react to them and be like, stick to the, no. Yeah. But there are those people.
Yeah, of course. And then it's funny because sometimes, like, if there's an ad-lib moment, I'm taking it full speed ahead. I can stick to the script, but if it's something I gotta say and I gotta get it out, I'm gonna say it.
Go say it. Yes.
If I feel it in my spirit that I need to say it, then I'm gonna say it and go off script. But yeah, just the life of between producer and on camera. So have you ever thought about being on camera, like leaving producing and just being an anchor or being a reporter or a host or anything?
I had an experience in college that changed my view about being on camera forever. It was just like the prompter went too fast. I
want to hear this. Oh,
like,
really?
that's the short version of the story. Someone was controlling prompter. There was literally, it was a college MUTV production, and there was a person that controls prompter. And she was just, like, so into this is what she told me afterwards. She said she was so into my story that she lost track and just kind of her hand moved. And I was like...
Was this live?
It was live.
Ooh.
Yes. And I was just like... Yeah, so on camera, I was reading it, and I was like... Da-da-da-da, and I had just kind of had to stop, pause until the prompter moved back to where it needed to be. And then I continued. And I was like... But I felt so embarrassed. Yeah. It was. But at the same time, there was no one you could blame because, like, of course, that was, like, a simple mistake. and I was not mad at her or anything. I was just mad at myself that there was nothing in I was also upset for being so upset, you know? And so I was like, I don't want to have this feeling again where there's no one to blame for my mistakes, or there's no one to blame for the mistake. I want to be the only one to blame for my mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want to be the one responsible so I can, like, work on myself. So, like, as a producer, any mistake that's made is, like, usually my fault. And I can take that. I can register with that. I can digest that. But as an anchor, there's so much that's, like, not in your control, and you just have to trust the process and trust everyone else. And I trust my team, but it also takes, like, another patience and composure with that trust. And I just know that, like, it takes a very capable person. And I don't know if I'm that capable. I'm not giving myself enough credit, but I don't want to be in that position again, because I know that there are people that can handle it and that it comes off well. They're just, like, cool with it. But I would be like, I'm more comfortable being responsible for my own mistakes.
I appreciate your transparency.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you had a TV traumatizing moment. Right?
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, so is that like the only reason?
That's the only reason.
Really? Okay. So
Like, there's not an interest. Reporters do great work, and, like, I did that same work without being on camera, working for a newspaper. I was a breaking news reporter.
Yeah.
So I would be in the field along with the other reporters that were getting on camera, getting the same interviews, getting the same information, writing the same digital stories. But the only difference would be they would memorize it and then go on camera. And I would just write it up for a newspaper. And so, like, being on camera, it's not that I don't have an interest for it. It's definitely interesting, but that experience made me to the point where, like, any interest I had in it, I just love producing more. And I love the position and where I am.
Yeah. Can I give you my opinion?
What?
I don't think you should have let that stop you. I'm just saying, like, I mean, obviously it is a scary moment, and we've all had embarrassing moments on TV where we've stumbled, we've stuttered, or we just sitting there looking crazy because we don't know what we're talking about. So I think that was, and it wasn't it was in college. So it was like early career, you know, so it wasn't like terrible. I mean, it was terrible. But, like, it wasn't like, at least you didn't have a million people looking at you. You know what I'm saying?
I had like 30.
Yeah. So only those 30 people saw it. It's not like they took memes of you and embarrassed you on social media or anything like that.
Right.
Did they?
No.
Okay, good. So, I mean, and this is in the past. Because how many years ago was that?
Oh my gosh. We're in 2024.
Yeah.
I graduated 2021. That happened in 2018.
2018. That's a million years ago.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But no, and then I definitely think I think a moment like that should actually just make you stronger, and just know that mistakes are gonna happen. We're all gonna mess up. It's people in top 10 markets that's making mistakes. You know, I mean, I will say every time I watch the news, there is a mistake somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Something's gonna happen, and everything is not perfect. It's like live TV is not perfect. There's always gonna be something going to go wrong, right? Whether there be a teleprompter issue or, you know, anchors talking and it immediately goes to commercial break. Something is gonna happen. Something's gonna take place, right? And so, you know, we're all human. We're not perfect and stuff, but I definitely think you should at least consider it, you know, and not let that moment stop you from pursuing
If
that.
the opportunity comes along to take a shadow experience, maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah.
But for right now, I'm just happy being a producer.
Yeah.
I love to write.
And that's good that you're happy doing that.
Yes, yeah. And I think reporters write just as much. Anchors don't get to write as much, at least where I'm at. They're more of on the proving side, but they do write their TSRs, special reports and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe I'll think about it. After this conversation, I'll definitely give it a thought.
Yeah, give it a thought. And we'll talk more about it off camera too. So, we go. Eventually, we're gonna get you on television. We gonna talk about that. So I do want to talk about this before we go. What was that pivotal moment in your life when you decided that you wanted to do this and like step into this business? Because this business is a little scary, not gonna lie. So it's, it can be frightening sometimes, but like what was that pivotal moment in your life where you decided you wanted to take a leap and do this?
So I played piano at an early age, and at an early age, 8.
8. Okay.
And I started writing books, like miniature books, in second grade. Okay. And like my dad helped me like publish this little picture book. It was so cute. And
that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I took my love for writing and music, and I was like, I want to do something with this. And so my sister, I remember we were on a plane, and I was in 7th grade. And she was reading a book, and it was on music careers, because my sister sings and she does music, and she wants to be a famous singer one day. And she'll get there if I have anything to do with it in my journalism role. But she was reading a book, and it was on music careers, and I saw the title Music Journalist, and I started reading, and I was like, I can do everything I love within this one role.
Music journalist?
Yes.
I've never heard of that. What is
that? It's someone that covers, like, you just write about albums, you write about artists, you write about festivals.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's like an entertainment reporter.
Okay.
And but that just focuses on music. And I wanted to do that, so when I turned 18, my parents bought me a camera, and I started going to concerts and stuff like that.
We have such the similar stories. But
really?
Keep going.
And then, bam, I was covering festivals, creating a website, and I still have contacts in the Tulsa music industry today that are just so amazing. And I developed those relationships from being a music journalist in high school. And so I was like, I want to continue doing this, but a wise man once told me, I believe it was one of my mentors, Alexander Quince, and he said, if you want to be a music journalist, you got to learn the foundation first and do news. And so that's when I started getting into journalism and just straight hardcore journalism, and decided I wanted to go to Mizzou, the #1 journalism school. And it was an amazing experience. I loved Mizzou. I loved just writing. And I fell in love with newspapers, and it just went from there.
Wow, such a great story. I love it. Stories are awesome. I love to hear great stories on this. Yeah. And I was going to say the similar parts was I became a published author when my journey started too.
Really?
And my parents got me cameras at 18.
Oh, wow.
It's funny how these journeys start, Right. Just those little moments and stuff turn into this big thing, and it is really awesome. And then when your parents invest in you, that is pivotal,
Yes.
Like that is awesome. So
it always makes me curious, because like, this is a random thought, but like when you have like little siblings or little cousins, and they start playing with trucks, or have like a keen thing that they focus in on, or like trains or planes or sports. And it's like, I wonder if they're going to be this one day, or I wonder if they're going to be this one day. So you just support them in everything they want. And then it just flowers into something like a career. Yeah. And I just found that so fascinating.
Yeah, now that's good. And that's a good tip too. And I'm not a parent, but I would say that, thank God. I would say that I think that a good move for parents is like pay attention to what your kids are doing, and like just the little stuff, just the little simple stuff. Like if there's a toy that they constantly play with, or something that they're constantly doing that can eventually blossom into something bigger, feed into that, support that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Dive deep into that. You know what
'Cause
I'm
it
saying?
counts.
Exactly. Like if you got, like I always know my dad always says, that kid, that energetic kid that's always hopping around and bouncing off the walls and all that stuff, that's the money making kid right there. Yeah. So you gotta keen in heavy on that kid. 'Cause
Yes.
he said he was that kid. So
Right on.
yeah. So yeah, so it's just stuff like that. But I think, but that's definitely a good note for parents out there that I think that they can take and really just help their kids succeed and stuff. And invest in your kids, man. Like the kids are the future, your future. Who knows? Kid become a multi-millionaire, billionaire. They can retire you. So you better invest. In that kid, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Fantastic. So last thing, what can you say is what's next, right? Because I know you said you eventually want to move here to the ATL and stuff. So what have you thought about what that move looks like and when that's
Yes.
gonna happen and stuff?
So I signed contracts with KOTV, and so as a producer, so right now I'm under a 2-year contract, but after that's up, I'm hoping they'll take me back for another 3 years, and then after that 5-year, after spending 5 years in Tulsa being a producer, I want to apply as to be either an associate producer or if they'll have me as just a straight up producer at CNN. And
Put that plug in. Let them know what you want to do. Yeah.
I want to work at CNN and as a producer. And I have a friend who's actually, I believe they're an associate producer at CNN right now.
Oh, relationships.
And they're on track to becoming a producer. And I've spoken with people at the Atlanta station, and they say that they're hiring often, and so they have positions open. And so I'm just hoping that that stays the same in 5 years, and I'll move here. I think I'm gonna continue being a producer for the rest of my days, unless the opportunity to be, I guess, a reporter or anchor comes along and that interests
That's your plan
me.
for now. But we'll talk about it.
When I near my retirement, like when I'm like an adult or something, like
You are an
why am
adult.
I an adult? Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. But like when I'm
When you're grown.
grown.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Grown.
Well, you own a house and everything. I mean, you basically
Yeah.
grown, so.
Yes, but like I'm talking about like when I'm 40, I think I'll
okay,
be on
gotcha.
camera. So like probably when I have kids,
Yeah.
just to do something to help support them. Yeah, I think after that, when I retire, I want to be a journalism professor.
Okay, professor. So you want to pay it forward?
Yes.
Pay it forward to the students. I like that. That's a good move. Nice journey right there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show. I'm glad we was able to talk about this and have a nice conversation about your career in journalism and get in depths of what the producer life is like.
Yes. Thank you again so much for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this was great. So definitely greatly appreciate it. And you guys, appreciate y'all so much for taking time to tune in to this episode of NJP, Navigating Journalism Podcast. Make sure you go get your Navigating Journalism Podcast merch, rocking the gray sweatshirt with the black lettering. So make sure y'all head over to, if you're watching on YouTube, all you got to do is scroll down below and the shop is right there. So you can literally shop right down below. Look at all the amazing apparel you can shop till you drop. So make sure you guys check that stuff out. And then if you're watching anywhere else, you can just head over to my Instagram page, TyrikWynn.iHeartRadio, and you can click on the link in my bio, and you can click where it says clothing line. It'll take you right to the store, all the shirts, the sweatshirts, all that good stuff. You can even get yourself some Tyrik Wynn shoes. I mean, come on, like rock with the footwork, man. So you guys can tap into all of that good stuff. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below, and share the episode with your fellow journos. I'm Tyrik Wynn. This is Navigating Journalism Podcast. Catch y'all next time.